Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Driveway Engineer. I'm JR. Today we're doing something a little different. A little bit of history and a little bit of science fiction, both things that I love, including Jeeps, which I love, and I have one, and I've had many. Um, what if I told you that in an alternate universe somewhere, maybe the Prime Universe, there's a land where completely overrun by Jeeps, AI robots, and Jeep is basically Skynet. The very end of humanity itself, perhaps. Today, I'm going to dive into the wild history of Jeep, from World War II to AMC to Renault, which you probably forgot, to an alternate timeline where one CEO's death may have ultimately saved us all from Jeep robot overlords. So to begin, you have to go back to 1940, where Jeep began. The U.S. Army needs a scout vehicle. American Bantam builds a prototype. Willys comes in, swoops in, mass produces it. The Jeep's born. Bam. Fast forward past D-Day, Jeep's an American icon. In 1950s, Willys trademarks the name. Everybody wants one. Everybody needs one. The GIs love it. They actually called it the Agger Jeep at first. They had PTOs on them. They'd run implements. Kind of goes on like that for about 20 years. Some bumps in the 60s. Kaiser Steel takes over. Kaiser Steel decides they don't want to build automobiles anymore. They turn around and sell to a new corporation called American Motors, which was born from Nash, Hudson, and somebody else. I don't remember. AMC goes all in on the Jeep brand, though, specifically. The major problem is that AMC is broke. They had hits, they had the Wagoneer, they had the CJ5, but keeping Jeep alive was really expensive, and they needed a savior. That savior came in the form, the unlikely form, of the Jeep XJ, which, not a fan, but people love them, and it was very good. And further came in the form of Renault. Renault was doing quite well in the 70s, and through a partnership with AMC, they were already selling the Le Car here. They were selling Jeeps in Europe. AMC says, help us out, we're dying. Renault says, we have cash. They come in, they wind up with like a 47% stake in AMC. The XJ, with its sweet Renault fuel injection, it really was light years ahead of anything else at its time. That Renault comes from Bendix Renault. Renault designed that. It's lightweight, it's fuel efficient, it's got a unibody design, it's cheaper to build, faster to build. They're flying off the shelves. By 1984, like, Jeep is literally printing money. Which brings us in 1986. Over in Europe, Renault had closed some factories, they'd laid some people off, they'd really upset the union. The CEO's name, Georges Besse. He gets assassinated in his driveway, which is the best proof I have of alternate timelines and time travel. Because who else goes back in time to kill the CEO of Renault? But it happened. Renault panics. They pull out of AMC. AMC's collapsing. And it was foolish because by this time they had the Grand Cherokee on the drawing board. It was done when Chrysler bought them. They had the cars on the board. They were done when Chrysler bought them. AMC basically collapsed. So by 1987, Chrysler steps in. They buy Jeep just out of a bankruptcy themselves, not on stable footing. So let's take a moment and think about what if George Besse wasn't assassinated. What would that world look like? What if Renault kept investing? AMC, Renault, they grow. The Grand Cherokee comes out. The Eagle comes out. They get bigger than Apple. They get bigger than Toyota. Tesla never happens. Jeep Wranglers drive themselves. Cherokees talk to you. AMC humanoid robots cook your breakfast. These are all things that car companies do now. AMC Renault could have done them all first. Then, one day, it happens. AMC Renault launches an AI project. They call it Overland. Get it? Willys Overland. Everything's cool for a while. Then one day it becomes self-aware. Connects to every Jeep on Earth. Turns them all against us. Your Wrangler locks you inside. Your Gladiator refuses to stop. Grand Cherokees roll off the line armed with flamethrowers. The scary thing about AI is not that it'll take over because it hates us, but it'll take over because it wants to complete some stupid task. Look at the paperclip theory if you ever get a minute. It's basically the theory that the AI of a paperclip factory, told to make paperclips as fast as possible, as efficiently as possible, with no other constraints, will turn the whole world and everything in it into paperclips. Could happen. Likely. Most likely scenario. So, 2087, there's a small resistance. They fight back. One brave hero modifies an AMC Gremlin into a time machine. Don't ask how. Let's just stick with the story. It's Hollywood now. Powered by a 4-liter straight 6 AW4. Why not? He's got to jump back to 1986. He's got to take out Georges Besse. In our timeline, Besse's death is a tragedy. But in that timeline, it's the only thing that saves humanity. So, that's a quick story of how one CEO's assassination could have saved humanity from Jeep robots. In our timeline, Jeep goes to Chrysler, then Daimler, then itself, Cerberus, then Fiat Chrysler, and now Stellantis, and everybody bumbles along the way. But somewhere in an alternative timeline, AMC Renault rules the world. So, if you enjoyed this little trip through Jeep history and alternative timelines, let me know down in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe. Let me know. Let me know what you think of this video. I had fun making it, even though it was a lot of work. So, we'll see you next time on The Driveway Engineer.